Welcome back to the Buds in the Box podcast. Before we get started, I just want to ask your guys' opinion on the fact that the Leafs are the North Division winners with their victory against the Habs. They won 3-2. They clinched the North Division. What do you guys think?
I'm super hyped. It's the first time in our lifetime that the Leafs have come first in the division. So,
Oh, really?
that's saying a lot. We're almost 19 years old. The last time they did it was 21 years ago, something like that. So, it's just cool to see. It's a first step almost. It's like maybe it's showing good signs. For some things to come, but that's the first time that's happened in our lifetime, which is saying a lot. So I don't know. I'm just excited to see how the playoffs go. I think we know we were a playoff team for probably a couple of months now. Basically sure thing for the playoffs. But I'm just excited to watch the playoffs and see what this team can do with all these, with all these new additions and with Foligno, who's played a couple of games and made an impact. With Joe Thornton's hockey IQ and Wayne Simmons, physical presence and all these new additions. TJ Brody's defensive also getting super overlooked. TJ Brody, I just wanted to mention that this podcast. We haven't mentioned this in a little while and it doesn't get shown. He has fourth plus minus in the entire NHL.
Really?
Fourth.
Wow, Felly's the stats guy this podcast.
But that's crazy. He's the fourth plus minus in the NHL. So that's awesome. Him, great pickup, just amazing pickup. That's exactly what the Leafs needed, and a defenseman. And then I'm just excited to see what's in store for the playoffs. Whether we're playing Habs or Winnipeg, it'll be interesting to see. But
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, those are great points. I mean, with Foligno, he's been a great two-way player. He's exactly what we expected. Played great. What was it? 3 points in 4 games? I don't know.
Four
I
points
think
in
that's
four
what it
games.
was, but I'm not sure. 4 and 5.
Oh, 4-5, yeah.
Pardon?
4-5. He got injured the
Oh
last
yeah,
game.
yeah, he only played half of
yeah,
the
yeah,
fifth game. But
exactly. And his presence was obviously lacking in that last game. So those are great points by Felly. Every single player there has made their mark this season, and no matter how many games, I just wanted to point out one of my MVPs of this season, who's 17-2 after this game, and that's Jack Campbell. One of the most important positions on the ice, as I can speak. You guys, some people might disagree, but that's what I personally think. As it just comes down to that, as we've seen with the Leafs losing streak, when we have a cold goalie, and now look at what we have when we have a hot goalie. This is just the start of things, and I really hope he performs like he's been performing. And honestly, I don't think playoffs are going to change much. We've played Montreal X amount of times. I think it's going to be a very it's always a great game when we play them this year. So I think it's going to make for a great series no matter what. And I just got to point out Campbell. He's been like Felly said. Felly lives by that one big save from a goalie each game, and you know what? Campbell's been doing that every single game, and even in the games we lose, he makes those big saves. So and that's 17 wins and big saves from every single one of them.
he's
Yeah.
stepping up when he needs to. Anderson is not looking good in the AHL
Oh,
right
yeah.
now.
40,
He's got
34
two
saves.
losses in a row, I think.
Yeah.
He's
Oh,
played two
oh,
games for the Marlies with two losses. Not looking good for him at the moment, but
yeah.
It's
Well,
only
I just
Go ahead.
sorry. I just want to chime in and say I was listening after with Kelly Rudy, and Rudy said that he's not looking at Anderson's stats as the AHL is more of just to get a feel for things, and he kind of said the players suck in comparison to the NHL. That being said, he's still an NHL caliber goalie, and as much as he like Kelly Rudy has that excuse for him, I mean, man, that's just he also was talking about the Allen goal on Engvall. Like that's a save for Allen. That should have been a save. That was like as much as it was great shot selection from out there. That should have been a save for Allen. But we'll get to that. But Rudy was really sticking up for Allen there and or like throwing Allen under the bus and sticking up for Anderson because no matter where you're playing, you should be playing well. And I mean, he's like look at what DiAgostini's doing in that position. So
mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, but he did have 34 saves, which is, a lot in his second game back. But he got the
Marlies give up
shootout
a
loss.
crazy amount of shots every game. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Mhm.
That team has
too.
no defense.
Yeah.
Well, Lodgren and Sandin are up here, so
Taxi squad.
yeah.
Anyway, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, switching gears. I think as long as Campbell doesn't get nervous, I think he should be good for the playoffs. And before we really get into the game, I just want to let you guys know that our jersey giveaway is still happening. So make sure you guys go like, subscribe, and comment which jersey you want in the comments section. And also just a word from our sponsors. As you guys know, we are being sponsored by Manscaped, which is obviously a huge deal. You guys can go to manscaped.com and use code BUDS20 to get 20% off anything. And you also get free shipping on top of that. I have my Manscaped Lawnmower 4.0 right here. It's an amazing product. They have so many amazing products to sell. They're the best men's grooming brand. Yeah, right there, Felly. So make sure you guys go use our code BUDS20. It will tell you in the description. Yeah. So going into the first period, I kind of want you guys to summarize this first period. The Leafs led in a goal 4 minutes in by Kulak, assist by Belize. I think that's how you say his name. I think it was like his first NHL game. The Leafs just couldn't break out of their zone. The what?
I said you think it was his first NHL game. How many times did we have to hear it?
Yeah, oh my God.
Oh yeah. But yeah, the Leafs just had a really bad first period. They couldn't seem to make a pass. They were bobbling anything. They looked out of sync. Did you guys have the same opinion?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, just to begin with, when we were watching that game, a couple days before, at the same time that they were up, that they were doubling our shots, we had I think 4 goals on them. So I mean, just to put those games into perspective, yeah, I don't know. I just want to point out one player who I'm not used to seeing, and that was Marner. I don't know what that first period. He stepped it up like crazy in the second, as we know, with a little snipe there. But I just thought he had one of his worst periods. Not a bad game whatsoever, but I just thought he was nowhere, and like he wasn't everywhere, and like kind of thing, like kind of the opposite of that you're everywhere saying. And then also that goal, Campbell didn't even see the puck from that angle. Campbell did not see the puck once.
No, that wasn't his fault, Campbell, at all. That's just kind of an unlucky goal. I mean, that puck had eyes, so give Kulak that shot from the point all day. I mean, I'm not mad about that goal. Like, that's something that you want happening, right? Like, just a shot from like a pretty meaningless shot from the point. 99 times out of 100 that doesn't go in, but that time it just happened to. That's unlucky. But that being said, it's still a good shot. It's a good shot selection and everything, whatever. But I'd rather that happen than a breakdown in the defensive zone, because no one really made a mistake on that play, I didn't think. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Engvall basically had the same goal, just a little bit higher hockey IQ, I think there.
And Allen saw it.
Yeah.
Allen saw the puck.
Well, Spezza was kind of screening, but he went down on his knees. He saw that going 5-hole. Just that shot was a rocket on the ice. Going to the second period, it looked really bad for the Leafs. Not even 1 minute in, Suzuki scored. It was a defensive zone faceoff for the Canadiens, and they break out. Suzuki just takes a shot. He doesn't have a good shot, and then it just trickles by Campbell. I mean, he was completely out of position. And I would say, like, the first goal wasn't his fault. That goal was his fault, and I was kind of scared at that point, right? He should have that. But then something clicked with the Leafs. We have the TSN turning point. I was just talking to these guys about it right before we started the podcast. Great defensive play by Muzzin on Cole Caulfield's breakaway. A very, very clean, takeaway. He lifted his stick perfectly and just took the puck away. Something then snapped in the Leafs' brains, and they just went off from there. It was completely dominant performance. Engvall, 5 minutes later, gets the goal with a really smart play, I think. It's not like he just had like an open lane from the point and shot it. He was curling around the outside, and he just threw it on net. No one thought he was going to shoot that, and it just went 5-hole. Allen wasn't quick enough to realize. What do you guys think about that one?
That Muzzin play was really, really solid. He got back, and Caulfield's got to be stronger on his stick there.
Oh, yeah.
That's a really weak. That he looked like a rookie. He is a rookie. He looked like a rookie there. You got a breakaway. It's good that he's getting chances, getting breakaways, but Muzzin had one hand on his stick, was reaching. You have no strength in your stick when you're doing that. Like when you're reaching and you've only got one hand on your stick like that, you've only got power literally from your wrist, like nowhere else in your arm. So like he basically used the flick of his wrist to get the puck off Caulfield there, which is, Caulfield's not the strongest guy. I don't think that's not what anyone's saying, but that was a strong play by Muzzin and a really weak one by Caulfield. But nonetheless, it was stop the potential goal. So if that's someone else in the league, that's not a good breakaway to give up, because a lot of guys can bear down there and just shoot the puck or keep the puck on their stick. But that being said, you don't want to give up that chance. But also good play by Muzzin to get back. So goes both ways.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, just to like go back to the Suzuki goal, that was just, I wouldn't say he was out of position. That was just a terrible hit off his own blocker and in. That blows as a goalie. And yeah, with the Engvall, that, like Felly said with the first time, that's a seeing eye shot. But I mean, Allen saw it all the way. He just wasn't expecting it, and then I think he realized, wow, like I should have had that, and he looked skyward, and then with the Caulfield, like that was the TSN turning point for sure.
Yeah. It continued to look upward for the Leafs. 10 minutes later, Nylander scored from JT and Muzzin. Now, the next two goals that the Leafs scored were unbelievable. Just star players playing their role and doing what star players do. JT with a no-look backhand tip pass to William Nylander for the open net shot. That was unbelievable. Muzzin put it on net, and JT just basically has eyes in the back of his head or something. That was an amazing pass. What do you guys think about that?
That John Tavares is a superstar.
Mm-hmm.
He is. He's always been a superstar. And something like one stat that really stuck out to me this game is that this is his 13th year in the league. I didn't know that. I thought he was way younger. He plays younger than that. But I guess since he's turning 30, or he is 30 now, that would make sense. But anyway, no, that was just a really, really high IQ play from Tavares to know that Nylander was there and to not take any time with the puck, but literally just tip it. And a lot of times Tavares will tip it on net, and to me, Tavares has the best hand-eye in the league and has the best tipping. Him and JVR, to me, I mean, I know they're both have been Leafs at some point in their career, but I really think those two guys are amazing net front tippers. But Tavares, he didn't even think about putting it on net there. He knew Nylander was there, deflected it to Nylander. Yeah, I mean, that was just an amazing play. And as much as, he's having a little bit of an off year last year, the second half was a little weird. He's a superstar. He just is. The Leafs have 4 superstars, 3 superstars, 1, 2 other all-stars, Riley and Nylander. To me, I feel like that's just a lot of star power, and people are forgetting about Tavares, but not of recently. So, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. He's really proving himself right now, right? With the start of the season, and now he's making sure that people know that that he's a presence in this league, and he is not just a presence, he's a superstar, like Felly just said. But that was unbelievable goal, great play all around. And Muzzin, actually, that first goal tipped off Muzzin's arm. According to Cuthbert, we never know with him, but he said that it tipped off Muzzin's arm. So going with his word, Muzzin has made up for that multiple times this game so far. So that's just another thing.
That guy's an idiot, man.
That was Nylander's. That was Nylander's seventh point in the last 7 games, I believe, or maybe it was the 10th point. I forget, but he definitely has a 7-game point streak active right now. And I also wanted to bring up 2 players before we get into this last goal by Marner, but I thought Engvall and Ben Hutton really had a good game considering they're the players auditioning for that final playoff spot.
Ben Hutton he looked great. Like, obviously the past couple games that he's played, I think he's only played 1 or 2.
Yeah.
But he's, it's hard to come in with a new team, a new dressing room, a bunch of guys you don't know, right? He doesn't know anyone. He's coming in and he's basically has one practice and plays, So that's a really hard thing to do, like at any level. Just to basically come in cold, you got to pick up a new game plan, a new system, all these new things. So to judge a player that gets traded in his first couple of games, you can't really do it. But he looked really comfortable, and the biggest thing for me was his physicality. He put Anderson right where he belongs. Like, he completely destroyed that guy, and that guy is a pretty big hothead. I mean, he runs around hitting guys, and he was trying to lean on Hutton, and Hutton just destroyed him. But I really liked his play. He was skating well. He was making some good passes. Sandin wasn't playing. I don't know if that was because of his eligibility thing with the Leafs, but he did have not a great game. He had a little bit of a off game last game. He had a couple turnovers in his own end, maybe getting a little too comfortable. But Hutton this game just looked really, really good. And sorry, just to talk about Anderson and the Canadiens a little bit, I wanted to bring this up just quickly. There's a fine line between a charge and a big hit, like a strong hit. I feel like every time, like Josh Anderson, he starts his stride to go hit someone like way earlier than he should. To me, for some reason, I feel like him, and then that hit on Kotkaniemi, or the hit that Kotkaniemi threw on Dermott, that one, that he started at the blue line and came and hit Kotkaniemi right from behind. What's going on, Eric? Are you good?
Yeah, I'm good. Continue.
Well, Felly,
what in the world, bro?
Well, Felly, I just want to agree with you there with the Anderson thing. I mean, he's got long legs. He's not a slow player for his like 6'3", 2-something frame, right? Like, he's a boy, and he's got some pretty good speed, but he utilizes it at the totally wrong times, like you just pointed out. And I agree with you 100%. He thinks like he thinks he's like McDavid, and then he's also like Tom Wilson in the same player, and he thinks that those will end in a good matter when clearly they won't. So
yeah, and then that Kotkaniemi hit on Dermott, first of all, was straight from behind.
Yeah.
For some reason, the refs were a little off. You could tell they were not good this game at all. But that hit on Dermott was straight from behind, and Kotkaniemi started his run up literally at the blue line to the goal line. That's a charge. That has to be called. That's dangerous. That he's coming in with a lot of force when you start your skate up like that, right? That's just, at that point, it's not like a hard hit. That's just a dangerously, that's what charging is. It has to be. I haven't seen a lot of charging calls in the NHL. Literally none. Actually, you never see charging calls.
They're hard to call.
I think refs.
They're hard to call.
They're really hard to call, but I think refs have to look out for it a little more, especially with the Canadiens. The Canadiens start their pathway to hit way too early.
Yeah, they're actually number 1
but anyway,
in the league in hitting.
Yeah, and I think that's in their heads a little bit. But anyway.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I just also wanted to, in terms of hitting, I don't know if you guys caught this. It wasn't like a absolutely show-stopping hit, but Tavares put Anderson in his place, and that just put a smile on my face. So, and that rhymed too. So.
Yeah, definitely some big momentum swings for the Leafs, and I mean, when you look at the stats, the hitting stats I saw today, the Canadiens are first in the league for hitting, and the Leafs are 31st. They're last in the league for hitting. So I mean, the Leafs are more skilled and the Canadians have big bodies. So that's obviously that stuff's going to happen and calls are going to be missed if, they're consistently out hitting the Leafs, right? And I thought the Leafs did a pretty good job anyway. The hits were tied at one point, 15-15. So they did a good job. But to seal the deal, the third goal of the game, Marner scores 17 minutes in. What a goal. The entire live stream of the Leafs game, I was talking about how, goalies are going to have to respect Marner's shooter mentality. I even mentioned it last podcast, right? And not only is it going to help him score more goals, it's also going to help his passing and open up opportunities that he wouldn't have had before, right? Right off the faceoff, Matthews wins it back. Marner cuts in untouched and just rips one from the hash marks. And Allen does not have a chance whatsoever. It was a perfectly placed shot, perfect speed and velocity. What'd you guys think?
Yeah, that's a perfect face-off play. That's one that you draw up. That's happens once every while. It doesn't happen a lot to draw up a play like that. It's really rare, but it was good. I mean, it got one right to him, and he just slung the puck at the net. It was kind of like a nice wrist shot, perfectly placed, bar down. I love that. But yeah, and that's Marner, and he's making himself more of a shooting threat, and that's amazing. That's what he has to do. So
just in time for playoffs.
Yep.
Exactly. And then shifting gears into the third period, the Leafs were completely shut down, or the Leafs completely shut down the Canadiens on defense. I mean, they barely got any chances. The only chance that was really recognizable was, Toffoli had a decent game. He toe dragged someone and shot on net, but Campbell was right there to stop it. I'd say that was a pretty big save. And then Mikheyev, right near the end, got kneed by Petrie, and I was kind of pissed off at that hit because it was just unnecessary. And I mean, he kind of when you're supposed to be aggressive, obviously, when your net's empty, and it was like a 2-on-1, but that's just uncalled for in the game. There's no reason to hit Mikheyev like that. Did you guys really see that or have an opinion?
I think it was a little bit more of a elbow. He really stuck his elbow out at Mikheyev,
Okay.
and then he kind of got under him. It wasn't so much that he led with his knee at all.
Yeah, it was more above the knee, but it still looked pretty dangerous.
It was like a hip on hip also.
He didn't lead with his knee. Because Petrie is not a stupid player. He doesn't lead with his knee. No one does that. It's just a stupid thing to do, to lead with your knee. And he didn't lead with his knee, but he definitely tried to get in his way. And then he did throw an elbow. He definitely threw his elbow up a little bit. Didn't catch Mikheyev in his head, luckily, but it caught him. And they called tripping, which was a little super. Probably should have been elbowing or whatever. But it was uncalled for, really. Yeah. It was game was over. There was 10 seconds left or whatever. So that really didn't need to happen on Petrie's behalf. But I guess that's just him trying to get in the mentality for a playoff series. So, I mean, I would have hoped the Leafs would do something similar if we were in the same situation. But it is what it is. So
yeah, for sure. Well, I'll just kind of finish it off. For some reason, Campbell had two really quick developing plays at the end of the game there. One nail biting save. I think it was off Kotkaniemi or Suzuki. Right at the end there, and he just deflected into the corner, and then they got it back. And I think one of them just ended it off, and we finished the game off with a save, which was nice. I just wanted to say one final thing, and that was Feli's gonna hate me for this for respecting a Hab, but Petrie hit the crossbar twice in that game. Petrie hit the crossbar twice in that game. I mean, the guy has a laser beam of a shot, and if there's anyone to fear, it's him and Weber, which is two right-handed defensemen. So pretty much just stick someone on the right side of the ice or left side of the ice for us, and we win that series.
If we're gonna respect the Hab, Petrie is the best player on the Habs in my eyes too. So
that's
there
Petrie,
you go,
man.
Yo, that was so hard for Feli to say. I just know.
Yeah.
He's clenching his fist right now.
All right. I guess that'll do it there. We'll wrap it up here before Feli blows up. But
I can't show my face after that.
We combust.
Thank you guys for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Have a chat with us in the comments. We'd love to respond. If you're listening on Spotify, we really appreciate you. Make sure you follow. This has been the Buds in the Box. Bye for now.